We already talked about some of the most popular looksmaxxing techniques on part 1, but we've got some more left, so let's get right into it. But first I'd like to emphasize something. As I said in the previous video, we're factoring in not only the end result, but also things like cost and potential side effects. Some guys criticized me for that and said that only the end result matters. I don't know if these guys are trust fund babies, or if they're willing to risk their health for the sake of looksmaxxing, but most of us are definitely not, so the criteria remain the same. Anyway, let's start with a good example of what I mean when I'm talking about safety. There's a technique that's called bone smashing. And it's exactly what the name suggests. People are smashing their facial bones, either with their hands or with tools like hammers. Are they really that crazy? Well, the short answer is yes, but there's a theory behind this. It's the same theory behind the leg lengthening process. In layman's terms, when a microfracture is created, the bone will grow in order to close the gap. So these guys are trying to create microfractures in their jawline and cheekbones, in hopes that their jaws grow bigger. There are many problems with this approach. First of all, there's no evidence that it'll work, at least in the way they expect. There are 0 studies on this, and it's in the gray area in terms of effectiveness, just as mewing. The difference is that mewing is harmless, while bone smashing has many potential dangers. You could seriously injure yourself, waste your time, and look like an idiot too. So I'll give this one an E. Once again, people who use this will use different lighting, different angles, swell a bit from the tapping and claim that it works. Instead of all this, here's an alternative. Jaw fillers. Disclaimer, I'm not a medical professional and you should talk with many reputable doctors before coming to a decision. We talked about jaw surgery in the previous one, and I only recommend it to those who have a super recessed jawline, because most guys don't need to go through this. Losing weight and growing a stubble or a beard can dramatically change the appearance of your jawline. I generally try to prevent guys from unnecessary procedures, because everything has potential side effects and costs money. However, some things are less invasive than others. Fillers are one of them. A small percentage of people present some side effects such as swelling, but for the most part they're quite safe, and they're way safer than jaw surgery. The downside and the upside is kind of the same, and that is that they don't last forever. You need to redo them every year or so, and this may be annoying, but on the other hand you have a way out. You can try it, and if you don't like it, everything can go back to normal, something that doesn't happen with jaw surgery. What if you don't like the final result? Will you undergo another surgery? And the potential side effects are way more severe. With all that being said, I'll put jaw fillers in A. Once again, not a big fan of cosmetic procedures, especially if there are other ways around it, but fillers are not as invasive as other procedures and they are reversible. Let's move away from the face for a little while and talk about the body. A muscular and lean body can be very aesthetically pleasing, and there are roughly 2 ways to achieve this. One is slow and safe, while the other is fast and not so safe. I'm talking about PEDs, and there's a ton of them, from old school and gym bro stuff to more medically safe ones. To say that you put your health on the line is an understatement. Many enhanced bodybuilders have left us so soon. I know what some of you are thinking, that these guys overdid it and took unproven compounds while they should have done something like testosterone replacement therapy. However, even with something like TRT and often visits to your doctor, there are still side effects, and for many it's a costly and lifelong commitment. Besides, if dating is your goal, you don't even need it. The vast majority of you can achieve great physiques with a little patience. Most women don't like roid monsters after all. Not only that, people who are prone to androgenetic alopecia will make matters worse by using PEDs. So, another entry in the E tier. Let's stay with the body and talk about supplements, meaning stuff like protein powder, creatine, pre-workouts, etc. I personally use just whey protein, 1 scoop per day for convenience reasons. They're definitely not necessary to build a great body, but they can provide a little boost. As long as you don't waste a ridiculous amount of money on a dozen different supplements, they're fine. I'll give them a C. Let's return to the face and talk about the eye area, more specifically eye contacts and glasses. Although getting a pair of hipster glasses won't turn you into a Chad, it can provide a nice style bonus. Some types of glasses can help guys with bad eyebrows. Contact lenses can also be helpful if you have a good eye area and you hide it under your glasses due to your myopia. Again, not a huge deal, but simply because we're talking about the eyes, the most important area of the face, I'll give contact lenses and glasses a B. Some guys ask me about colored contact lenses. The thing is that they provide a small bonus, but it's temporary. If your goal is one night stands, then go for it, but I don't think it'll be received well by the girl when she finds out the truth. That's very ironic considering all the makeup etc. But hey, that's the life of a man. Let's move up a bit and talk about the hair. We talked about hair transplants and hair loss medications on the previous part, so let's see some more methods. Some guys use a hair product called thick fiber. It's excellent for diffuse thinners, but it's not a permanent solution. You can use it to look great for an event, but when you get back home you'll have to face your pore density again. I'll put this in C. Once again, great results but temporary solution. Another method is scalp micropigmentation. It's not a tattoo, but kinda looks like it. There are many problems with this. Your hair, even when trimmed down a lot, there's still 3D, and micropigmentation will seem unnatural. Also, what happens when the rest of your hair turns gray, but you have black dots all over your head? And I'm not aware if it's reversible. I'll put this one in D, and the reason it's not lower is because it can provide a slight illusion of density for diffuse thinners. Moving away from hair loss but staying with the hair, let's talk about dyeing your hair. This is a tricky one, because it's not necessary for most guys and it can also be kinda cringe. However, it can be proven useful for a specific purpose, and that's niche maxing. Coloring your hair is a gamble. Some girls will hate it while others might love it. I'll give this one a C, since it's reversible, safe and quite cheap. Continuing with niche maxing, and let's talk about tattoos. Again, some girls will think of you as a thug if you have too many visible tattoos, while others might view you as a bad boy in a good sense. Tattoos definitely have their appeal for many women, but they are not reversible. I mean they are, but it's not that simple to cover up or remove a tattoo you regretted doing. I'll also put them in C, because even if they are not as cheap and easy as coloring your hair, I think they're more attractive. And the same can be said about piercings. Some women love them, others hate them. And to be honest, when it comes to targeting a niche, I'm kinda divided. On one hand, you limit yourself to a particular group of women, but on the other hand, these women will be more into you than a mainstream guy of the same level of attractiveness. I guess it also depends on what women you really want. If you want a metalhead, for example, then go for it. Sure, some girls will think that your black clothes and long hair and beard are unattractive, but other girls, more specifically the ones you really like, will be more into the metal version of you compared to a mainstream version of you. Let's talk about something hideous, and that's ab implants. They look unnatural and they probably feel unnatural too. Nobody can see your abs most of the time, and it'll look mismatched unless you're already lean, and if you're already quite lean, your abs aren't far away, so I really don't get the logic behind this. Let's put this to the bottom and let's talk about something better, and that's tan. Almost every A-lister in Hollywood has a nice tan skin, and have you ever wondered why bodybuilders tan before a show? It makes your definition stand out more, and that goes for your face too. Of course it can't do miracles, but it can make your jawline appear a bit sharper, your cheeks a bit more hollow, etc. I was torn between B and C. B tier looks kinda lonely, so let's put it there. Anyway, that was the video. There are some more Looksmaxxing techniques left, such as buccal fat removal, hair systems, cheekbone implants, etc. etc. Maybe I'll do a part 3 soon, so stay tuned. Leave your comments below and I'll see you soon.